time to get out the man of the hour. Please give a huge welcome to Mr. Chris Dowd. Woo!
This is lovely. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming. And, you know, I feel very privileged to be here tonight. I haven't been in at a screening yet, so it's very exciting. And I was talking to Kenny about how everything is going, and he's very exciting. And you know, and Kenny is, you know, he waxes lyrical about it a lot. And he also mentioned that if I say the name Kenny 11 times in the course of this,
get him a drink.
He'd be very pleased. You know, it's a great thing to be able to show people your work. I feel like I've been very lucky in my career, but the luckiest thing that I've had is that the films that I haven't worked, nobody has seen. Like the really bad ones, and there have been many, just don't get seen, and that's an absolute treasure to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tonight. But to be able to share your work, art doesn't work in a vacuum, really. So to be able to share your work with people is wonderful. And this is a fantastic opportunity to do that. So I'm very happy to be involved in it. And like Kenny said, I was able to help a little bit last year, and because I can see how well it's all going, I'm pleased to announce that I'll be able to help financially again this year to the same extent. Which is great. But it's great. I'd like to, you know, just to, there's no reason that Galway can't be the short film capital of the world. I mean, and I don't mean that facetiously. There's absolutely no reason. Like, it's looking for a capital. You know, it's, it can be like Ballymun is to teenage pregnancy. Galway can be to short film. So I would urge anybody who hasn't submitted yet to tell your friends and to get out there and to write and to work, and it will be shown and it will be seen and it will be judged. But that's kind of half the fun. So thank you so much, and good luck with it all.
So, Chris, what did you think of that? What did you think of the film is?
I was disappointed, if I'm honest. I had heard a lot of good talk, and no, do you know what? I was so incredibly impressed, and as anybody who was sitting around me would know, like towards the end, and even now I'm feeling a little teary. Like, I thought it was beautiful. I thought the standard was so high and also so interesting, and you know, it's an odd thing because I felt weirdly.
This is going to be good.
I felt incredibly proud to be a Connacht man tonight, and I felt like. You know, because you probably don't notice it because you're doing it all the time and it's whatever, and it's just this kind of thing. It's like we're going to do this thing every month, but it's what you don't realize is it's very special what's happening here. Like, there's some beautiful films being made, and there's some big choices being made, and some good sketches and some good gags and all that kind of stuff, and it's all very honest. It all comes from a place of well, what can we do here? Films are great, but you know, they can kind of turn into commercial beings very quickly, and I've been part of a lot of those. And so when you see something that's just unequivocally artistic or unequivocally interesting or personal, it's quite striking. So I think that Julie and Liam and the other guy, should be incredibly proud of what's happening here, and all of the filmmakers and contributors and everybody who comes and supports it should be very, very proud of yourselves.
And There is something which we only realized this recently, but there's a bit of a strange thing related to this date, because Chris gave us $5,000 last year, and we just have to go through our accounts, and he gave us $5,000 on this very day last year.
No, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it's, if we tried to plan it to have an event.
Yeah, that suits me perfectly.
What is it about the Little Cinema, or why did you want to get involved in the first place? You obviously met us at the Arthur Guinness project.
Yeah, that's right. So we did this Arthur Guinness thing last year, and I mean, you know, like the concept of it is great, and you know what? And the money that they end up giving, there was a lot of like really great projects and whatever, and loads of bad projects that we gave money to, and. But it's kind of it was a hard thing to me it seemed like a very Dublin centric thing that they ended up giving a lot of money to. It was a lot of whatever centralized kind of nonsense, and that's fine. But they were all great. To be fair, it's not, I can't even in any way say. But anyway, you guys came in, and it's such a simple and great idea, and you came across really well that. Obviously I pitched for you to get money, but I'm one of 4 people, so I didn't win that one out. And then I got in touch afterwards and said that I'd like to support it, and that's, I suppose, the way that went. And I was happy to help. And then when I see tonight, which is the first time that I've had the chance to come, I was like, oh God, this is a really special thing. So I'm glad that I'm able to give the same amount of money this year and foreseeably in the future. You know, it's really terrific. It's fantastic.
And you're going to be a free man of Roscommon soon.
That's right. I get the freedom of Roscommon on Wednesday.
Do you know who else has the freedom of Roscommon?
I know. I think I know a couple. So it's not that many. It's like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
I feel like Mary McElligott.
Yes.
Dermot Earley, who's a big football player.
Yes.
Like a country and western singer.
That's the big one.
What's his name?
No. Brendan Shine.
Brendan Shine. And is there one other person?
There is. It's Mary McAleese's husband.
For all his good work folding sheets.
And there's a song which Brendan Shine sings.
Oh, terrific.
It says...
no, I like the way this is going.
He's an Irish folk and country singer, television presenter and accordion player from Athlone with 5 Irish #1 singles, and best known for songs about everyday life such as... You read that out.
Do you want your old lobby washed down? And his other famous song was called Spuds.
All true.
Roscommon is very small, like population-wise. You know, I don't come to Galway very often, and I have a brother who lives here a lot of the time, and I did it. The last time I lived here was I was doing a show with the Druid, and that kind of reminded me of it. I was living with this guy. We were doing Playboy of the Western World, and we were living in some place down by the Quays. And the guy was kind of like an older guy, maybe in his 50s, and he was from Kerry, and he was a big Bowron player. And he would do these massive Bowron solos. And then he would say that this is called, like, I've never seen somebody say, oh, this is a song called, and then play a Bowron solo. But he had names for them all. And I remember it only because that was called that. He said, okay, well, the song here now is called Howl the Candle Steady While I Shave the Chicken's Lip. I was thrown it into Nancy while her mother went out for turf. And really extraordinary.
Do we have any questions from the audience before I ask any more? No? Oh, we do. Liam is on his way to the earth to...
Hi, are you going to the Roscommon Club county stuff tomorrow?
Not if I can help it. I know I would love to, but I mean, I've got like I've my hair and. I actually felt really good tonight being somewhere where short hair and beards is appreciated so much. It's good. And I mean, I keep kind of bizarrely well in touch with that, and I know what's happening tomorrow, and it's not that important. It's not like a county final or anything. It's quite a minor event. So no.
Question here.
Speaking of Roscommon,
Thank you. Hey, congratulations on your film. It was terrific.
And him as well. That guy too. Thank you very much. Just a question about, like, say, the difference between working in America and big films versus Moon Boy, which is, I think, just the new kind of Irish comedy akin to something like Father Ted, which isn't produced in Ireland and was one of the best Irish comedies. Another example of a failure of Irish media, or whatever. It must be special to you. It must be something kind of like really valuable to you. And are you looking forward to new seasons? Are there new seasons? Or?
Yeah, no, it is. It's very important to me, and and you're right. There's an interesting thing with Irish comedy, where Irish comedy is doing quite well. Like, no, but it's hard. No, it's hard because like. Okay, so the Mrs. Brown's Boys thing, right? No, but okay, so like that's fine. We don't need to like it, but it's and it's kind of frustrating that none of it is made here and is shot in Scotland or whatever, and that's fine. But as Ted was shot in West London, and that's fine. But it is important that we kind of actually try and whatever about John McDonough and all this thing, and that was, you know. He said a lot of weird stuff to me. I wouldn't necessarily quote him on any of it. So, but yeah, to bring stuff out west is really important, and that's it. I think that's kind of what's important, is that filmmaking in Ireland it's quite centralised. It's quite centralised to either Belfast or to Ardmore, and I'm developing a new show at the moment that we're actually weirdly setting in Galway, and you know, it might never get picked up or whatever, so I haven't done anything yet. But like that, but trying to the thing that we're looking into right now, which is I feel like my remit in TV making, is to not only enjoy the beautiful scenery, but to actually bring work to the area. So we are kind of looking at using Solace in Galway, and it's there aren't an awful lot of TV studios, but they're really, the ones there are great, and the expertise here is really strong. Galway is the only place other than Dublin that you can crew out of, which is really tricky, and financially it's really hard to shoot. Like Moon Boy, even though it looks like a kind of a cheap show that we threw together, is very expensive because I kind of insisted on shooting in Roscommon, and then we obviously can't have everybody be from Roscommon, so we have to put everybody up, and it's a very practical thing where it's very difficult. Like when you do that week after week, it's quite TV is made cheaply, and that's kind of one of the things I find fascinating about Galway, is that it could just be a whole other TV centre, like it's a whole other thing, and the way that the BBC is run out of Salford in Manchester, there's no reason that Galway couldn't be that, because there are better creative minds here than there are in the rest of the, you know, than there are in Wicklow. So, you know, but like, not that they're like, it's terrific. I mean, there's amazing people in Dublin and whatever, but they're shooting fucking Wicklow, and so there's no, you know, there's a way to make that work, and for us to be able to, hopefully, like, not just use it, but utilize it and regenerate, if that makes sense. That sounded like a Terminator answer.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you about your time with Druid here, and did you feel that was kind of Do you prefer theatre or film? And if Druid, you felt did a lot for your career, or was it just a case of I've done it, I'm going to move on, or was it a springboard for you?
I don't know if it was a springboard career-wise, but in terms of my mentality, it was huge. Like, I don't know if anybody here has worked with Gary Hines, but like that's an interesting woman. I remember, I'll tell you one story about that, which I had kind of forgotten about until I was upstairs and I saw some Druid posters. But we were doing Playboy of the Western World, and it was tricky. Like, she's hard. Like, she's a hard, amazing woman. But I was playing like a small part in it. And it was me and a guy called David Pierce playing like this essentially comedic double act to like Cillian Murphy's Playboy. And at one point I was just out of drama school and I had these great kind of grotesque ideas for the character. And she said, and I'd been kind of in good shape at the time. And she said, you know what, maybe I should like put on some weight or something. And I thought, okay, all right, Gary. So I put on 25 pounds. And over the course, and that was very easy because we were fucking like drinking in Nocturnes every night. And then we got to the stage of like opening night. This was kind of, I guess we had 2 months rehearsal or whatever it was. And we got to opening night, and I kind of passed by her on the way to the stage, and she said, "How you feeling?" I was like, "I'm feeling, all right." She said, "God, you're looking big." And I said, "Well, yeah, you said I should put on weight," and she said, "I think I was joking." It was a long way back from there. I don't think I've ever lost. But I kind of, what I loved about Druid was the integrity of the work really stayed with me. About like, I don't know who's talking about it tonight, but like we had this weird tour, which was I just came off Broadway, which is quite a commercial, like it's great and it's lovely. But we did a tour here of like the Arid Islands and Castlebar and stuff. And the idea of the tour was it was the same place that the Playboy would have run away from his father in. And I'm like, I don't think they do that on Broadway. Like, there's an incredible integrity in the way they work, which is definitely stayed with me.
We had a question submitted to us via Twitter, and I'm just seeing if I have it. It's on the back page here, yeah. And so this is from Sarah Garvey, who did the documentary about Little Cinema, and it is, Chris, I've heard that Boyle has a huge UFO watching community. Is this true, and could it appear in Moonboy?
You know what? My first week at college, when I went to UCD, just coincidentally, it was on like the third page of the Irish Star. That like, it's not like a random thing. Boyle has the highest UFO sightings in Europe. And this is, look it up. It's extraordinary. And so I just found that amazing. But what Boyle also has, which you probably maybe don't know about, is a big English expatriate stoned community. And I remember talking to the TD at the time, after, like around that time, who was like an ex-football coach as well. And I was like, what's going on with the fucking UFO stuff? And he said, well, so a couple of people phoned in. Like, they phoned the paper because they were stoned and said that they saw UFOs. And so we started getting calls from the newspaper saying, does UFO have a big, does Boyle have a big UFO thing? And then I thought, loads of people love UFOs. So he got loads of other people to call in and say that they saw UFOs. And like, it was a topic at the Chamber of Commerce meeting. And all of that is an episode in the next series of Moonboy. Which we shot like a year and a half. I don't know, Sky seemed to release shit. I don't know when the fuck. But we shot it like a year ago, but it's out in January or February, I think.
Growing up, what was your favourite TV show? Or was there any TV shows that you can remember standing out to you?
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day, but I was. It's funny because we're so close to Britain, and I don't remember liking any British shows. Like, for whatever reason, all of the shows that I used to watch as a kid were American shows. Like, I was a big fan of Roseanne and My So-Called Life and The Wonder Years. Like, The Wonder Years and Roseanne were big kind of frames of reference for us when we were writing Moonboy. And the show that I remember watching a lot with my dad, who kind of introduced me to watching comedy and stuff, was Cheers. I was a big Cheers fan. And then Dave Allen, I think, was a kind of first person who was like, oh my God, Irish people are mad funny. So yeah, those kind of shows were mad big for us in our house. And then the girls loved like Dallas and Dynasty, which you can kind of see in Moonboy. But yeah, those were the shows. And then when we got a little bit older, I was a huge, people kind of scoff at it a bit now, but like I was a huge Friends fan when I was 14 or 15.
We hear a lot of reports about Moonboy, the fact that the cast or the crew really enjoy themselves on set, and like it's a very relaxed set and it's very easygoing and there's a good vibe. People like to play football, that kind of stuff. Is that because you choose a crew which is easygoing, or is just that it's your general your presence or your demeanour which reflects that onto the crew?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely something that I'm very aware of. Like whether people are actually having an enjoyable, like filming. You know, as you guys know, once you get into it, it's incredibly time consuming, and it's not like you go to work and then you go home and it's like a 9-to-5 job. Like once you're in it, you're in it. Even if it's kind of like filming for us is maybe like 7 to 7, but then you kind of get up so early and you're going to prepare for the next day. It's a very full-time thing. And I'm not being a name-droppy guy, but like the people that, like Judd Apatow runs a set like that. Like everybody enjoys working on Judd Apatow's set because it's, even though the hours are a fucker and whatever, everybody enjoys themselves. And that's definitely something that I like on the last series, every week I kind of, the one thing I would do, other than kind of make everybody feel relaxed, is hire a different random food truck. Like, so we had like ice creams on a Thursday and then tacos on a Wednesday and stuff like that. It's kind of fun just to keep people like, what everybody's doing is incredibly important, and I'm going to essentially get the plaudits for all of it. So whatever I can do to make this time special. And yeah, we've been very lucky with the Moonboy people in that we had a really great crew, and people who were troublesome and a pain in the arse or mean to anybody at any stage, they just got left behind. And I think that's the way it has to go. Otherwise, it's not fun.
During our festival, we had a secret screening where we took like a busload of people out to a church and we screened Groundhog Day. And so one of our favourite films, and everyone enjoyed it. But Bill Murray, obviously an icon, and you haven't worked with him. Did he live up to your expectations, or did you have any expectations, or how was he to work with in general?
Yeah, I have to say, I did a film with him that's coming out here maybe next month or whatever. And he was lovely. Like I do very little with him in the film, to be honest. But we hung out, 'cause he's a producer on it, so he would kind of hang out when I was doing scenes and brought me out for lunch on my last day and was very, very sweet. And he would do this awesome thing where we did this one scene that we were in together, was in a scene almost kind of like this, but it was in a big, like, I play a teacher for this kid that he's taking care of. It was like a big school hall, and we had a couple of hundred extras that were sitting there all fucking day and bored out of their minds. So between takes, he would walk up and down and throw them sweets from a hat. Like, in the way that you would imagine Bill Murray would throw sweets from a hat. Like he's the fucking Willy Wonka of comedy. But he's a genuinely lovely man. Like I saw him, we were in Toronto promoting the film a few weeks ago, and I told him that I was having a baby and whatever, and he's got 6 kids, I think. And he said, I have 2 pieces of advice. I haven't told this to anybody before, but they're quite sweet. And he said, when's the baby due? And I said, yeah, like the end of January. I'm going to ruin the first thing, but he said, I said the end of January. And he said, great. Okay. Tell everybody it's March. Because from Christmas, everybody's going to be annoying your fucking arse about this fucking baby. And I said, okay. And he said, and the second piece of advice is get a fan with a light on it and tie ribbons to it. And I was like, I think what I had said to him was, do you have any like really great parenting advice? And he said, okay, so I've had 6 kids. And every time we go and the baby is delivered, the temperature is shit. It's either too hot or it's too cold, and it's really hard to get it changed. And the lighting in hospitals is the worst. It's like interrogation lighting. So turn off all the lights, and don't worry about the heat. Like them turn it on high, and get a fan going on your wife. And you won't be able to walk or you won't be able to see anything, so you're going to need the light. That's where you need the light on the fan. And then everything's going to be fine.
Easy as that.
Yeah. But like, I loved how incredibly specific the advice was.
We got a question here. Yeah.
Hi, I was just wondering, out of all the type of work that you've done between TV and movies and stage, what has been your favourite work that you've done?
I don't know. Like I've loved them all for different reasons. Actually, that's not true. But I've loved loads of them for different reasons. I have to say, like the when we were shooting the Bridesmaids film, that was a lot of fun. We had a good time on that. IT Crowd was loads of fun, but we fought a lot. But we were on it a lot, so we got on like a lot. But there was making it like a sitcom in front of an audience is so stressful. But probably the job I love the most is doing Moonboy, because I feel kind of more connected to it than anything else, probably.
Hi. What advice would you have for any budding actors?
Just put out. Yeah, that's how I got it.
That's my daughter you're talking to.
And I'm a filmmaker. No.
Okay, so.
No, do you know what? It's really hard. I don't know. I'm not the perfect person to ask for advice about acting, because most of my stuff just came from luck. But it would be the same advice that I give to any filmmaker, is just be brave. You know.
I thought my question is that you're no more from your comedy roles, but I think you proved in Calvary, which I think is not talked about enough, but I think like the closing scenes of Calvary, I think you proved your work dramatically. I think that was an incredible scene. I think that was exchange between yourself and Brendan Gleeson at the end were just incredible. Like, I just wondering, you proved it on stage now of Mice of Men. Do you have a want to kind of go for the more dramatic roles in a film or on TV? Like, or do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's a tricky one, really, because it's. I never, to be honest, I never really expected that I was going to do comedy. Like, I went to a classic theatrical drama school, so the fact that I ended up in comedy was kind of a surprise to me. So now that when I do a dramatic role, and people are like, "Oh my God, he does drama," I always find that kind of weird to me. But so I don't know if I seek them out necessarily. This is what I would say about my about now where I am in the world. It's so hard to find a fucking good script. Like, it's so hard. Like, comedic or dramatic or whatever, it's so hard. Like, it's such an odd problem because there's so many great scripts. But to find them and to do them seems almost fucking impossible. Which is why, you know, you see kind of your favorite actors do a film every 2 years because they're not lazy. They're like, oh, what the fuck is out there? I'm going to have to do this really shitty thing, which I've done loads of times. And it's so hard. Like, so this is why stuff like this is important. The material is all that matters. Like, the rest of us are just filling in the gaps. But, like, a great idea and some good writing, which can be kind of helped as you go, that's half the battle. So I don't know necessarily. I don't know if I go seeking drama, but I go seeking quality, and there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of quality in comedy at the moment. It's hard. Like, we're in this kind of transition period. Like Judd had this kind of big thing for a while, and I don't know what. So I don't know, but it's hard. Like, comedy seems to go in cycles a lot more than drama does, but. Yeah, I love doing drama, but it's hard to find a good script where I feel like this just feels like people trying to be dramatic. Oh, thanks very much. Oh, you're very kind. He's a brilliant English writer and director.
I heard during the week Moon Boy's going to move to America. Is adapted. Are you worried that's going to get lost any kind of a charm like that has from being set in?
Oh, it will lose all its charm.
So are you not involved with that at all? Is that
no, I am.
Okay. Like, you were talking about the Wonder Years. Like, I said yesterday to my girlfriend that Moon Boy reminds me of the Wonder Years. So when I was young, the Wonder Years was my favourite TV show.
Yeah.
So straight away, Moon Boy reminded me. So I was just worried that when it goes across to America, will it just be the Wonder Years, or will it lose all of its charm and just be like the In-Betweeners?
Do you know what? I think it won't be like the In-Betweeners. I don't think it's not. But it's a tricky one. Like, to be fair, if it doesn't work, it will be my fault. Like, this is the difference between, like, I know they've tried to do the IT crowd and stuff before, but Graham hasn't really been involved in it. Like, I'm writing the show, like the American show. So if it's not good, that'll be my fault, and that's fine. I can live with that pressure. But it won't be in any way, and this is awful me saying it, but it won't be in any way Irish. Like, there's no like value in it being like, I feel like we've done that. Like, we've done that. I'm happy with the show that we made, and trying to recreate that would be it would be redundant. It doesn't serve a purpose comedically. Like, for me, when I was kind of selling it, it's like, it's a show about a kid with an imaginary friend, and in a kind of realistic family environment. And I think American TV oddly serves that potential purpose quite well. But if you're expecting, or even I'm expecting, like, for that charm that maybe the original show has, I don't think that'll happen. Like, I think it'll have other virtues, but to reach for that, I think, would be a mistake in a funny kind of a way. Like, I want it to be great, obviously, and wonderful and funny as shit, but I don't know if we can. I think trying to recreate the show would be a mistake. And whenever I've seen new versions of, like, British or Irish shows on American television, when they try and recreate the show, it doesn't seem to work. But, like, taking the premise and then just doing it again seems to me to make more sense.
You mentioned about being brave as an actor. And there's a podcast called An Irishman Abroad, which you did with Jarlath Regan.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a brilliant podcast, and you tell some fantastic stories. And one of the things that comes out of it is that you obviously have the talent to be a great actor, but you also were really, you had a bit of luck, but you also a lot of happenstance, and you made things go for you, and you kind of told a few white lies and stuff to get roles, that kind of stuff, which is all brilliant, and it got to where you were. I'm not. Sounds like I'm. But
cheat. That's the word he's looking for.
But it just, if you listen to the podcast, but it just emphasised to people that it is important to just blag a bit and to just big yourself up and to just push yourself out there,
Yeah.
outside your comfort zone.
You know what's interesting whenever I do interviews, and I found it as the years go by, that when people say, do you feel like you've been lucky, is becoming kind of more and more insulting. And I understand the premise of the question, which is, it's like you're just kind of like this guy who's kind of funny, and now you're this whole other thing, and I get that. And I think that's, I'm not being facetious. I think that's a fair analysis of my place in the world. But I was talking, I think on Jara's thing was about opportunity, and I think that is the big difference. It's the taking an opportunity when it arises, and not just kind of saying, I don't know if I feel like I can. No, you're the person they need. It's that desperation, that I think is the reason that I've kind of, to some extent, made it. Is not, it's because there was loads of people at my kind of class in drama school that are better actors than I. There's loads of better writers than I am, and loads of whatever. But that moment where it's like, I need to be the best person in the room when I need to be the best person in the room, that is the only thing that kind of works for me. And that's just the bravery thing, which kind of sounds in some way silly or something, or not very Irish in a funny kind of a way, but going, yeah, you need to be at your fucking best when you need to be at your best. And the rest of the time, anybody can do it.
Hi. Someone asked the question earlier, what was your favourite thing you've ever done? But I'd like to know what you think is the worst thing you've ever done. Why am I doing this?
This is going to be a long night. I've done loads of things that I'm not proud of, but without, I suppose, slagging anybody off. The one that I would say would be when I was 23 or 24, I did a commercial for McDonald's on the internet in France. And I suppose the reason that it's important that it's on the internet in France is that I did a commercial for McDonald's and got paid maybe 500 euros for it. So this is something that you should know about burger commercials. They don't cook the burgers. Because if they cook the burgers shrink. And rather than use a bigger burger and let it shrink, that apparently is against advertising standards. So they microwave the burgers and they paint them with Bovril to make them look like burgers that have been cooked. So I did a McDonald's commercial for the internet in France and had to chew on 37 burgers. And they had a chef, right, on this thing. Like a guy in a fucking white thing with a hat, which after I would chew this fucking essentially microwave raw burger, I would look at him going how can you call yourself a chef? And I didn't have to eat them all. I would kind of chew them for a bit and then spit them out into the sky. And it's that thing, when you see them on the thing where it's you don't eat it like that, like everybody else eats a burger, you do it like this, like a weirdo. Because we need to see the weird Bovril painted burger. And so then a guy would come in with a bucket and I would spit the burger in a bucket. And the only photo in my office now and for the last 10 years has been a picture of the bucket with my spitted out burger in it. 37 different spitted out burgers. Just sits above where I write to remind me to work hard.
I just wanted to ask you about your time in drama school. Because you meet a lot of actors and most of them come out and they go, I absolutely fucking hated drama school. And I was just wondering, was it the same for you? Or did you enjoy it?
Well, that was me. I hated it. But I enjoyed meeting loads of people and Drama school, I suppose, was the question for anybody who didn't hear it. Did you enjoy drama school? Do you know what I loved was the drama society in UCD. I loved that. Like, I loved actually just going and being creative and making mistakes and being terrible and being too ambitious, and loads of fucking guys that are 19 and 20 doing like Death of a Salesman and not understanding the text truly, but like thinking, oh, you know, loads of David Mamet plays where we didn't really understand what that meant. And then going to drama school, and I went to drama school in London where I went to Lambda, and essentially it was a Shakespearean training, and they didn't necessarily want creative people. They wanted loads of people that they could mold into working for the RSC in 5 years' time. And that's fine, I get it. Like, I think that traditionally that's what it was for, but it had no basis in the reality of modern entertainment. We had, out of 2 years, we had 2 weeks of TV and film training. And if people tried to make their living on theatre now, everybody would live on the dole. So it was kind of silly, and they hated me. Like they really, I wasn't ready to be regimented and or to be British. And so I found that very, very difficult. And so I didn't finish. And I loved, like, some of the people, like, I talked to my best mate who, like, was the best man at my wedding. And whenever I slagged the drama school off, he's like, go fuck yourself. You know what? You didn't like it. That was fine. I loved it. And that's the truth of it. Like, people had a different experience. I just come from college. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm in college again? It was like, I thought this was going to be a creative experience. So I didn't find it. But I loved, what people I've learned is that people who don't go to drama school always kind of think, oh God, I feel like I don't know what drama. I feel like I should have had drama training, so I don't have that. But that's the only thing that I got from it. And like when I meet all of these amazing actors who are like way better than I am, and they're like, oh, I feel like I should have went to RADA or something, and they don't realize how little they missed. Is the one thing that I've got above them.
Just want to really quickly again say thank you very, very much to Chris for doing this with us, for not only coming along but for doing the Q&A and for taking so much time for supporting us. And it's incredible to have someone like him who is a worldwide star, not just an Irish star, but who's interested. Right. He's
they know me in Papua New Guinea.
He's interested in helping the grassroots of filmmaking, which is hugely important. It's something we really appreciate. And we want to also thank Castleprint again for helping us, and we want to thank the Galway City Art Services who also sponsored us this year. And everyone who's come along tonight. It's been a really special night for us, and we're hugely, hugely happy to have done this. It's fantastic. And before we move on to the we're going to get a photo with each filmmaking group with Chris. Before we do, my beautiful assistant is going to bring out something. Woo! What we have here is a very special little cinema hoodie for you.
Oh, I love that. That's actually really sweet.
And obviously, by accepting that, he agrees to wear it in every interview he does. You know, that's just.
Thank you so much. That's actually really sweet.
There's also a little envelope here with little cinema badges and little cinema stickers you can give out to people. We've to all the Hollywood A-listers.
Got it.
We've actually Castleprint printed the stickers for us, and
go on. Everybody's gagging for a piss now.
And those stickers have been in the Eiffel Tower, Australia, all over the world. Like, people tag us in them and take a picture and tag a little cinema in them. So,
it's really sweet.
So, everyone, thank you for your patience and for listening to Chris for so long. I know he went on a bit. We're going to get some photos now.